audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm Mr. Level Bam. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Braille, our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're going to talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say ade. No artists go join me in the studio. We're going to discuss about music and business. Or you singer and now you rapper, you think say you get bars, you go fit spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio and yes say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app no our Play Store and the App Store. No tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, go Instagram, any GhanaTalks Radio page and so now listen. I be your fire. 1 year, Wading. Jajai.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
GhanaTalks Radio, #1.
Good morning, Ghana. Good morning, lovely listeners of GhanaTalks Radio. It's yet another beautiful, brand new day, a brand new week. Yeah, we are here to bring you the latest headlines making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment, and everything in between. We got you covered with the most relevant stories. You are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. Right here, I am your host, Esinal Fiagbedu. And today on my news headline review is Miss Regina Bless. Miss Debbie will be joining us shortly. Good morning, Ma.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. What of you?
I'm great. I must say, I love your dress.
Thank you.
How was the weekend?
The weekend was great. Yeah, it was great.
It was great. It went as expected.
Yeah.
How you wanted it.
Exactly.
No sleepover.
Oh no.
Hope you.
I don't do that.
All right. But hope you are refreshed.
I'm
and
very much
energized and
energized.
ready to tackle the new week.
Yeah.
Boot for boot.
Exactly. Hill
Alright.
for hill.
You are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
And right here is our news headline review. And thank you for allowing me to have you here as my panelist.
You're welcome.
All right. So before we dive straight into it, I don't know if you heard a story about A Plus
Yeah.
that he said he said something about the AJ that if the AJ doesn't take time, he's going to reveal certain things. And then later on, I think yesterday in the news, we saw that A Plus has come to withdraw that statement and has come to, apologize to the Attorney General. With the man can
Dabi. You know, he's okay for A Plus. He's an independent candidate.
Yeah, right.
Who won in his, should I say, jurisdiction. So I would say that I wouldn't say it's politically motivated, because since his time, or since he was contesting for his position, he has made it known publicly that he's not for any of the parties.
Yeah.
He says it as it is. He's very blunt. He's very blunt when it comes to his words, and that's I like about him. He's not the type that you can influence him politically. There's nothing like propaganda or anything when it comes to his aspect. But when I heard it, I was very disappointed, because we know you for how truthful you are, and we know that you don't talk without facts.
Right.
So what happened? And see, honestly, I was very disappointed. I was like, A plus, I was very disappointed. And what came into my mind, or do you think the parliament that you are, it's a showbiz? Because I think he's a co-host for. I was like, do you think it's a showbiz?
Lot of showbiz show, right? I think he needs to face reality. That
seriously,
he's
and
not a member of
sometimes
parliament.
when he goes to parliament, the way he talks, he takes everything as comedy. I was like, oh no. So with what he just did, he even coming out to apologize, fine, that is good on his part. But do you know that AG can sue him?
Yeah.
First of all, for defamation.
For defamation.
You don't have your facts. You just talk just like that. That is where Sam George needs to. This is where Sam George needs to start implementing his policies.
That is
misinformation and disinformation.
disinformation.
We said earlier that he needs to start, or he needs to use Team Fodro
as an example.
But it looks like he's reluctant to even do so. All he's doing is bringing the policies, but not working on them. So A plus, good. Well, he coming out to apologize, it's good, but please, parliamentarians, MPs, they shouldn't use their positions, or they shouldn't use their power as a yardstick to misuse them. They shouldn't misuse the freedom of speech. Fine, it's freedom of speech, but it has limits. We have limits to everything.
But it doesn't look like so in this country. We speak anyhow.
Exactly, because even though we have rules, we have laws governing our country, it is not being implemented. And we call something law enforcement. Steps needs to be put down to make sure that law enforcement works really well in our country. So it's either Sam George used these two people as scapegoats. You know, sometimes apology doesn't solve everything.
Yeah.
You need to be used for other people to see, to deter others from indulging in that same.
But here lies the case. These people are, high profile leaders.
That is what I'm saying. That they shouldn't use their power because they are MPs, because they are in parliament. They shouldn't use that as a yardstick to abuse their power. That is abuse of power. If I'm a manager here and I wake up, I choose to sack everybody, I choose to abuse everyone here, I may say, whoa, you're on suspension 3 weeks, you are fired, you don't come here again, that is abuse of power. You know, power is given to, should I say, elite people. You can be educated but not educated. It is up to you to know how to use that power. And I remember before they came into parliament, was it Mahama or was it the Speaker of Parliament set up a training for them? I don't really remember. A training for parliamentarians, and I think the minority didn't want to indulge in it. You know, with all this training, it entails a lot. Things to say, things not to say, things to do, things not to do, how to talk. As an MP, you shouldn't even stand in front of people, or you shouldn't be in parliament and as I'm talking, your speech should be eloquent, it should be flowing. But somewhere I saw a video where the things one MP was, I was like, so it's good to vote for people not based on their background, educational background, but hey, sometimes, Charlie, education is really important too. Education is really important.
All right. Okay, so let's dive straight into our major headlines for today. Education Minister inaugurates new 12-member GES Council. The Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, on Friday inaugurated a 12-member council for the Ghana Education Service. The GES Council is to provide strategic leadership and oversight for Ghana's pre-tertiary education sector. The council is chaired by former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Winneba, Professor Mauto Avoke. In a statement, the Ministry of Education indicated that the newly constituted council formation reflects a renewed commitment to educational reform, inclusion, and coordination among critical agencies in the education sector. The council is expected to play a vital role in supporting the GES to fulfill its mandate and improve the overall quality of pre-tertiary education in Ghana. So this is coming from the Ministry of Education, Haruna Idrisu. On Friday, he inaugurated a 12-member council for the Ghana Education Service. So my question right now is, what is expected of these people that have been elected, to improve our pre-tertiary education sector?
What's expected of
these
people? I would say that our education sector lacks a lot. Our education sector is in shambles.
Can you point out some of the things we are lacking in the educational sector?
Discipline, first of all.
Okay.
If we don't have discipline up there, that is where it boils down to the school, the individuals, even students. I can't remember one corporal punishment is where we use skin, right?
Yeah.
But I got to a point, GES came out to say that we shouldn't indulge in corporal punishment.
Okay.
I can't remember my time. You can't go to school late. I even went to a private school. Even though a private school, there are times where you can't be caning students just like that because you are paying school fees. But they made sure that discipline was instilled in us. But now, the government is saying they should do away with corporal punishment.
Yeah.
And it is making these students very indisciplined to the point where a student can stab a teacher in the eye. As a student, why do you have a knife with you in school? Are you in school for kung fu? Are you in school for karate? Are you in school to indulge in war? You are in school to educate yourself. You are in school to learn. So I feel that with this 12-member committee that they've set up, see, we all we do is say that when NDC came into power, the only thing they know how to do best is set up committee upon committee. But all the committee that they've set up, this is the only committee that I'm very happy with, because they really need to look into our educational sector. Is it education sector? They really need to look into it, because indiscipline is now on the rise. We were here when one student took a gun to school, shot a colleague in the eye. Now she's blind. She needs to get money, fly outside, and be treated. We were here when Accra Academy and Kimbu were involved in a fight. These students were using as a machete, cutlass on each other. We were here when Accra Academy senior was punishing a junior with a cutlass, hitting him with a cutlass. This is the level of which the indiscipline has reached, where these students do not even fear. They don't have that fear in them. Gone are the days when you are going to school and you are late. You are scared that you will be disciplined. Even if you don't attend a one teacher's lesson, you are scared that you'll be disciplined. Now, that is not the case. They have the freedom to do whatever they want. And aside the indiscipline, I'll say that in our education sector too, there are certain, should I say, I wouldn't say lack of teachers, but it looks like these teachers, even though they are competent, but in a way they make it look as if they are not really all that competent. They also really need to look into that. And also the infrastructure and other things that students need in school. Some students can even go to school, they don't even have seats to sit on, they don't have desks to sit on. And also when it comes to the SHS, the dormitories and all that, up till now, I still hear that some people do not still have beds. So with this 12-member committee, this is a very good idea. It's very good, and I'm in support of it.
Yeah. So the council composition includes representatives from various institutions such as the West African Education Council, the National Schools Inspectorate Authority, the National Teaching Council, the National Council for Curricular and Assessment, teacher unions, the Ministry of Education, and the Local Government Service Council, faith-based organization, and the non-teaching staff of the GES. So this is what the 12-member committee comprises of.
Okay, so with you said curriculum something.
Yeah, the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment.
Curriculum has to do with what they learn in school and all that.
Yeah, outside.
Do you know that up till now, Form 3s are still going to school? Every student has vacated, but I don't know if private schools are part of it, but government schools, Form 3s, they are still going to school. And what is it called? Just recently, is the first March holiday. Instead of these students to be resting, they were in school. I saw them and I was like, I asked, are you going to school? What are you going to school to do? And she just looked at my face. I knew say opesa to for mommy, but I was surprised. You've been in school for how many terms? It's good that these students needs to be taught. They are lacking behind on certain things. They are lacking behind on certain syllables. But why are these students lacking behind on those syllables? Because I know that as a teacher, they have an assessment book where a term they point out the topics or the subject they need to tackle before the end of term. See, should I say students, their brain needs to rest. You can't overwork the brain. The brain needs to rest. So I don't know why some students are home resting and these Form 3s are still in school learning. It's good to learn. We don't dispute that. Give them a break. Exactly. And even if you don't want to give them that break, the holiday, you could have at least let these people rest. Do you know that as they are going, they'll be paying classes fee?
Yeah, they will. Extra classes fee.
It's because of what these teachers are gaining from the students. It is because of what these teachers are gaining from the students. And I can't remember when I started government school, when you don't go to Saturday classes, you'll be punished
on Monday.
Exactly. And they will still take that 5 CDs on top. And what I heard was they are not being paid well as teachers. So that is what they use.
Where they get
exactly.
That is where they get their extra.
So what is the government doing about this? So you see why the 12-member committee is very essential. And this committee shouldn't only boil down to the secondary schools. They should make sure that it's cut across all government schools, both primary, JHS, everything. So yeah.
Yeah, Miss Debbie, what do you make of the inauguration of the 12-member committee in the educational sector?
It's actually a good one because there is a lot of homework to do in the education sector, a lot of homework. Although we have the FSHS, but there are a lot of things that has to do with first infrastructure, because you go to school and then you find out that most of these students do not even have decks where they sit on to study, and then we focus more on schools in Greater Accra, like the capital, should I say capital town of other regions like Volta region, Greater Accra. They focus on those schools more than the schools in the villages where they have no seat, they have no board, and sometimes because of all these challenges, most of these teachers that are being posted there do not want to go there, because at the end of the day they will end up struggling. And teaching has to be in a way that it's very easy for you to teach what you've been taught in school, in a way impacting knowledge into these students, and as well as making it easy for these students to learn. Because I saw a video where a teacher was trying to teach students about part of computer, and there is no computer in the school, and this teacher has to draw computer on the board. Can you just imagine? But this is a case where when they're going to write BEC or whatever it is, it's practical. They're going to ask you steps in opening whatever it is, and sometimes it makes it so easy when you are being taught practically. I mean, go to start, tap on this, then you know how they used to teach us, open a folder, like, and when you are being taught practically, when it comes in the exam, it makes it very easy for you to recollect. But in the case where the teacher has drawn it on the board, how are you going to understand? And then it makes teaching also very boring. And when it comes to our curriculum, there is a lot to do. Some subjects that are being taught in school has to be scrapped. It has to be.
What are some of those subjects?
Oh, it has to be scrapped. But
so RME has already been scrapped already.
Why should they scrap
religious
RME?
and moral
They should have
education.
scrapped French and leave RME.
French?
Yes.
Oh.
But you've learned French in school. What are you using it to do now?
It's not a matter of what are you using. At least when you see if you buy a product and then they write it in French, and if you took your French very seriously, you should be able to read
I
that.
know people who do not even study French in school. They are Ghanaians and they can speak French fluently.
So how do they learn it?
They learn it. They learn it online.
So why do you want it to
that.
be scrapped? If you want to learn it
should
online,
be.
go and learn it online. But I don't think that French should be scrapped.
Oh, it should. For me, I feel like it should be scrapped, and then we should focus more on our local language instead. We should focus on that. And certain things in the curriculum that we know that are not really necessary. When the previous government came into power, they introduced, I think, new courses and a whole lot. I think it's about time we start learning. We should stop learning blindly from the Western world and learn correctly. Because from the Western world, they look at your capabilities. When they see you, like their system of education is in such a way that if I want to be a doctor in future, I study what will push me to become a doctor. You don't learn courses, all the courses you learn, like you learn everything, 9 courses, and then you go to the university, you still studying another course on its own. And then when secondary school, then when you get to the university, you're not going to focus on what you are going to learn. And sometimes when you even get to the university, courses that do not even relate with what you want to study, you still study them. So you see, I feel like the curriculum, there is a lot to do. We should just check it out. The ones we feel like it's not making sense enough and it's not going to help the students enough, it should be scrapped. And then the ones we feel like it's actually equip them for the future, then we allow it.
It's going to help them and equip them for the future. So we are just hoping that whatever responsibility that is due of the 12-member committee, they should do it in the educational sector. All right, moving on. May 5th protest for judicial independence, not CJ. The Member of Parliament for Swami, John Darko, has clarified that the New Patriotics Party planned protest on Monday, which is today, is not a show in defense for suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu, but rather a demonstration against what the party views as a dangerous attack on judicial independence under the current administration. Mr. Darko stated emphatically that the demonstration was aimed at defending the sanity of the judiciary and not the individual involved. So President John Dramani Mahama on Tuesday, April 22nd, suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Esaba Tokonu after a prima facie case was established based on 3 separate petitions calling for her removal. The move was executed under Article 14, Chapter 6 of the 1992 Constitution. Following consultation with the Council of State, the President's action has been sharply criticized by opposition parties and several civic society voices who argue that it undermines the independence of the judiciary and sets a dangerous precedent with the Ghana Bar Association seeking the revocation of the suspension. So this is coming from Member of Parliament, Mr. John Darko. He says the protest, which is currently happening, I think it's already happening, is for judicial independence but not for CJ. What do you make of it? Do you think that is what it looks like from the comments we've seen so far coming out from the minority? And this is not a protest which is coming out from the minority alone, which is the NPP, but this is a collaboration with the other parties such as GUM, CPP,
GUM
and
has withdrawn.
Okay,
Well,
so
you
GUM
know.
has withdrawn, so that has to, so the NPP and other political parties we have. What do you make of it?
Why didn't they come out to say that initially? Because when this CJ brouhaha was going on, they came out to let us know explicitly that they are not happy with the removal of CJ.
But they didn't state that it was against judicial independence.
So now why are they telling us that the protests is not about CJ, but rather judicial independence?
So what do you think might have changed?
I don't know. Maybe they are facing backlash. Maybe they are facing criticism. But these people, I know, they are not bothered about what people say. So we don't really know what the change of plan is. In a way, it might be they fighting for judicial independence, because you know, as a judicial system, you need to operate independently. There shouldn't be any kind of political interference.
Yeah.
It should be free and fair. And they came out to let us know that, should I say, the NDC are influencing the judiciary now, because it's like they want to remove the CJ. You know that CJ is the head. She has a lot of people beneath her.
Yeah.
So, in a way, I would say that the NDC are being... should I say they are influencing the judiciary? Yeah, let me say it like that. No, they are, in a sense that the past administration appointed her, and now they want to take her out. And when you, should I say, according to survey, a lot of people also want her out. Yes, and under that comment, when you read the comments, people are like, Mahama didn't get the chance to appoint a chief justice.
So that is
he has
why
never appointed one.
So that is why he also wants to.
So in a way, that is what they are trying to say.
No, I'm not sure that's the right thing, because Mahama didn't appoint CJ, so he's trying to do so. No.
And
If
some
the
are even
person
saying
is
that
competent,
he's vouching for a third term in office. That is why he needs to take the CJ. And others are saying that if he's vouching for a third term in office,
that is
will
not
his
going to
targets
happen.
be the CJ?
It's not going to happen, because in the constitution, no president has run a third term. The cutoff point is 2 terms.
It's 2 terms.
So when you are done with your 2 terms, whether you are able to complete the task you wanted to complete or not, you just have to step down and let someone continue. And that's a mentality that we have, and we've been emphasizing on it, that 4 years, no president or no government can cause improvement in 4 years. Then they should look at Ibrahim Traore, because he's in government for, if I'm right, maybe a year or getting to a year. And let's look at what he has done. So let's clear that thing in mind, that when you come into power within 4 years, that is wrong. You can do a lot. And then back to CJ issue and whatever is it, the protest.
Yeah.
The protest is happening today.
Yeah, today.
And they are saying that it's not in collaboration with the CJ or whatever. Or is that not what they are saying?
Yeah.
But they
are fighting for the protest is against judicial independence and not
and who
CJ.
is saying that the judiciary is not independent and they are dependent? Who is saying that? It is, I don't know. You see, if you are if you are doing the right thing and you have people pointing fingers at you, you don't panic because you feel like you are doing the right thing. But when you are not doing the right thing and then you have people pointing at you and then you hear like there is a hearsay that something like this is going on, you are into it and that, and you feel like you are on your right path, I feel you shouldn't panic. But the protests they are doing to secure independence of the judiciary, and the judiciary, no matter say they are not independent, and the judiciary, we all know, is an independent body because the judiciary cannot be independent. The judiciary is there for the people. The judiciary is not politically motivated, because if it's politically motivated, then it means they are there for the political parties and not for the people, which is not supposed to be so. So it's like
because from the onset, like the information we've had so far and what we've even seen on the news is that they are protesting against the CJ and not for judicial. So for the I don't get the point where they come in and they are like they are protesting against judicial independence but not for the individual.
CJ. I feel like they just want to cover up something. Then when they get there, they will talk or they'll say the main reason why they are on the streets.
Well, we'll be going shortly to go and cover the protest, the demonstration. We'll bring you back stories. All right, let's move on. Sam George urges youth to ditch sports betting for farming investments. The Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel George, has called on young Ghanaians to redirect their disposal income from sports betting into farming, describing agriculture as a more profitable and socially impactful investment. In a message shared widely on social media platform X, the Ningo Prampram MP criticized the increasing youth dependency on betting, arguing that the practice offers fleeting gains and long-term financial losses. Mr. George underscored the economic potential of farming, suggesting that agricultural investments, whether through direct involvement or financial support to farmers, offer a more sustainable pathway to income generation. He urges that beyond individual gains, such investments strengthen the country's food system and contribute to national development. His comments come at a time when sports betting continue to gain popularity among Ghanaian youth, often seen as a quick route to financial gain and rising unemployment and economic hardship. So this is coming from Ningo Prampram NP Sam George in his urging youth to ditch sports betting for farming investments. Why do you think people go into sports betting? They go into sports betting, in my opinion, I think they go into sports betting because one, they are unemployed, or either they have the job and then their salary is not enough for them. That is why they go for this sports thing. But right now they are telling us that they should ditch it and then invest into farming. And here lies the case, before you even start farming safe, you need capital.
Why ditch it? How they do now collabo?
How would they collaborate?
See, sports betting shouldn't even be a full-time job.
It's more or less, okay, people see it
in
as a
Ghana
hobby.
here.
It's also an investment.
Yes, it is an investment. To my opinion, sports betting shouldn't be a full-time job. As you said, hobby. It is something you need to indulge in when you are bored. Something you indulge in to have fun. But looking at the rate at which our youth of today,
are indulging into this sporting
It's
thing.
bad.
Some people even get addicted to it that
Exactly.
they even put
And when
their
you-
last penny
when you
on the
go
line.
to campus, they will tell you that they use their school fees
Oh yes.
to
To
bet,
bet.
Yes.
which is wrong.
Yes.
As I said, sports betting should be something we indulge in to have fun. But now we are going overboard. Someone will call you, Reggie, please, I beg you, do you have 10 CDs? You know me, if you ask me for money, because it's my hard-earned money, I ask you, what are you using the money for?
Of course, obviously, I need
Please,
to.
you'll be sending me odds into them person. I said, please, my money don't do that. My money won't do that.
I'm seeing some side.
Our investors in the building. See, it is not bad.
They should calm down.
It is not, but there's a limit to everything. You know that with the sports betting app itself, you can suspend yourself for as long as you want.
Right.
And it can be reopened for you when the time is due. One person did it, also 2030. And so no mumbi mano. Because man odisika bebre. And he once a wood disika now is boosting you to
Your
invest
energy,
more.
your morale.
Yeah. So with what minister is saying, I do agree with him. They should focus more on the agricultural sector. So I invest less in the building, please. You can't stop.
But how
it.
would you convince this youth
Exactly.
to invest into
See,
the agricultural sector?
the betting is so much in their veins. It is like wafa red, when you red. Me say they are hyper on it. They are very hyper.
Miss Debbie,
You see, he's right.
what? No, but
He's
how will you
right.
convince the
They
youth?
can't be convinced.
Because looking at the betting, because looking at the
you're also
betting,
wasting your money. That
They'll tell you that it's your
50
money.
CDs, 100 CDs. Just sit down and imagine. Today you've got 100 CDs. You went to stake and fat. The next day you got 50 CDs. You went to stake and fat. Combining that money together, don't you think you can invest it into something else? And then how can I say? Should I say addiction or something?
Yeah, it is
so
an
who's
addiction.
taking first one? Nefa, if you are 10 CDs and then you've got like 100 or 200 CDs.
You do it.
You'll be like, hey, they say we
You'll
got
be
200,
gingered
I'll
to
get
do
2,000. And I've heard of incidents where a momo vendor, he was actually doing it for his boss, and then it's kind of the sales he made for the day, which was 2,000, or the cost take here.
of course.
Oh, because all you see, like if any okay comes and if any team. So you see, invest into other business like agriculture to his part. And as he's saying that, there's also create a job for them. Because if you don't create the job for them, it pushes them to do that. And then imagine someone working in and out, you pay transport. Every day you have to feed. And then maybe what you are taking does not correlate with your feeding expenses, transport expenses. The only thing they will do is do all the small stuffs, and then get something from it. But you see, we still have other companies. They are educating this youth to invest in hand skills, like is it vocational skills? Because I know of a colleague it's a private institution in collaboration with the government. So they teach you how to bake, how to sew, and even if maybe you study HR or maybe journalism in school, you still come and then you do something like top up. And then when you want to work with them, they also have partnership with these private companies. So they'll push you, then when your hard work is encouraging enough, they maintain you and then they employ you. If not that, and then maybe you want to start your own business. After you've learned it, they give you capital to start and they do it yearly. And so you should also engage in this. So aside this, you take from here, you take from there. The small one you do with your hard-earned money, like the vocational skills and stuff. Use that to cater for your personal needs. And then what you take monthly, you save it down for something else.
But let's weigh the profit opportunities here between the betting and he urging the youth to indulge into the agriculture. Which one do you think is more profitable?
Agriculture is profitable, my sister.
Okay.
Agriculture is profitable.
Because here lies the case, the betting you stake for like 10 cedis and the money you get a day. Where agriculture, if you are working for somebody, you have to wait at the end of the month.
Before you get paid, right?
Yeah.
But is it not okay? Because that 10 cedi,
Okay. So the agriculture
there
thing
is no
will be
full-
more or less like a long-term
Yes.
achievement.
Taking 10 CDs is not a full assurance. Say you will win. I don't go for your own. I've seen these taxes were even here. No way full. Because player back home, maybe they've actually staked maybe 2-1 or 2-0, and at the end of the day, one player sports everything. Then tikana shit. And if you wait for the 10 day because that man you create no person first can BB, and all of a sudden it's went through something he wasn't expecting. So with the agriculture, it will be good, but they should make it easy for them to venture into it. When they make it too expensive, and then you're telling me that they should venture into it, then of what use? Because if you're saying that they should venture into it, and you are still taking money from the youth that do not have money, then it makes no sense. So they should make it a yikakra. Only say come and venture into agriculture, and I don't know.
Yeah.
They should do something
Miss
about
Regina,
it.
but do you think there should be some kind of like training for these people who want to go into agriculture? There should be some kind of like training or maybe some guidance. If you want to go into agriculture, this is what you need to do. I think with that, when people see all of those things or those efforts being played out by the government, they will have maybe a change of mind or be convinced enough to venture into agriculture.
They should.
Rather than you just saying it in the end, then just leaving it for them to decide for
like
them.
what I was saying, they can actually do something like 10 months or maybe 5 months extensive agriculture training. Then after that, when they venture into it, you still give them some money. You know, some people when they venture into the agriculture, they want to come out and do like start something on their own, like maybe poultry farming or farming of veggies and stuff. They want to do something on their own, and it has to do with money. Because you're not only going to plant maize, you have to buy all the fertilizers and stuff to make sure that these things come out
there's a lot of capital you need to put into it when you want to venture into businesses like this.
So as you are training them, you are giving them money to start. All
right, Miss Regina, what are your last words? What would you tell your fellow investors who are, doing more investments rather than long-term investments?
Okay. Investor one. So as I said earlier, sports betting should be something we indulge in to have fun. Indulging, should I say, our leisure time or something, but it shouldn't be something you need us nothing like
last stop.
Obi betra bets undi nana kuma jeneja. Oh, why? So with the sports betting, please, after the show, don't beat us, we beg you. So with the sport betting, they should really limit it. As he said, I really do agree with him. They should focus more on the agriculture. And as he said, would there be a training for these people? Yes, there will be training for these people because not everyone knows everything about agriculture. Yes, even if there's a training, me personally, I would indulge myself in it. So please, those people, I'll say the youth indulge themselves more in what is it called, the betting, and older men indulge more in lotto.
But it is because they don't have jobs.
Oh. You don't have a job,
but and they are not. No, it could be they are not satisfied with the salary.
Madam Host, I beg you. Madam Host, I beg you. You don't have a job, but you have the money, you have the resources to indulge in betting.
When you have 10 cedis, the money you cash out after betting.
So imagine it's not only about 10 cedis. As you 10 cedis, you graduate to another level. 10 CDs, 20 CDs, 30 CDs, 40 CDs, 50. Then you are graduating. So please, we are not saying it's bad, but too much of everything is bad. That is where people even use their hard-earned money they are supposed to use for something profitable to indulge in it, which is bad.
Tempted to do that.
Which is bad.
So please, if you have an account, deactivate it. We beg you.
If you have an account, a betting account, deactivate it. This is coming from Miss Regina Bless, not from me though. All right, this is where we draw the curtains for our news headline review. Up next, we have the Beach Girl.
morning and welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we deal on matters that concern the state, issues that are relevant to the state. Now let's look at this. Hungry people don't vote religion or do not vote based on religion. Political risk analyst and economist has dismissed claims that religious bias played a decisive role in the New Patriotic Party's defeat in the 2024 general election. So in an interview, he said the NPP's downfall had everything to do with the economy and nothing to do with Dr. Baumia's being a Muslim. So he cited a litany of economic missteps as the real reason voters punished the party. Now, hungry people don't vote based on religion. Yes, it's true. Hungry people do not vote on religion. Citizens who are hungry, who are not employed, I'm not sure will go and stand on a hot sun to vote for someone because the person is a Christian, or to vote for another person because the person is a Muslim. Religion do not count in voting for a leader. We vote for a leader who have the people at heart, a leader who thinks about the well-being of his people, a leader who is always thinking about measures to put in place to create jobs for the unemployed youth. Because trust me, if you're a Muslim and you are doing the right thing, there is no way we are going to vote against you or something. No. Because we can see that your goal, your intention is to promote the goodwill of the country and to see your people, the people you lead, thrive in every sector they find themselves. But in a country where nothing goes on well, the youth are unemployed, you don't even see the head from the tail of what you are doing. You speak out and then the only answer you get back is to be arrested. Then they are going to vote against you. So the political analyst is actually saying the truth. Mr. Tio Achampo is saying the truth. See, the New Patriotic Party wasn't to vote out of power because Dr. Baumia is a Muslim. Let me emphatically state it here. No. No one voted him out or voted the New Patriotic out because they have a dominance of Muslims in them or because the vice president was a Muslim. No. We don't vote based on religion, but we vote on what we've seen. And I'm sure Ghanaians saw the shade they've been shown them. And that was the main reason why they voted against the New Patriotic Party. Because you and I could recount that it go to a time that there were increases of food, prices of food. Today you go to buy a bag of rice at 100 cedis, and the next day you get to the market and it's 250. You go to buy oil, a gallon of oil at a price of 300 cedis, and then the next day it's 450. And all these things count. It counts. And Dr. Baumia, who is an economist, was in existence when the dollar to a cedi, the competition became so vast that the cedi to a dollar became so weak. And the tension was just too much. So if someone should sit by you and then say that because they voted the New Patriotic Party out of power because they have a Muslim vice president, and if he's being voted into power, he'll become the president of the country, it's a big lie. It's a big lie. Because I encountered a woman who was like, and they voted the New Patriotic Party out of power because they were thinking that Dr. Baumia is a Muslim and then he cannot do anything for the country. And I was like, madam, take it easy. What you're saying is basically not the truth. We will vote for you based on what you will do and what you have done, and based on the policies you've set on board to do. And trust me, the current government in power, for them to come into power in the next 2028, for them to come back into power 2028 will depend on the hard work they are doing now. If they're actually performing well, then in 2028 they will still be voted to come back. But when they do bad or worse than the previous government, then trust me, we are still going to vote for someone else a new person who we think is going to bring development into the country, is going to listen to the people, and is going to do according to the will of the people. So for a party to be, booted out of power has to do with a whole lot of things. As I said, inflation was on the rise. Not to talk of galamsey, a lot of issues here and there. And you and I will bet that even 3 months before this power left, protest upon protest, demonstration upon demonstration, what didn't we do as a country? What didn't we say? But they never listened to us. They never gave us a listening ear. So please, I want to correct this. The New Patriotic Party was not voted out of power because it was based on religion. No. We are not a country where we actually discriminate and then we pick parties based on a particular religion. Even if the person to lead this country is a traditionalist, and we feel that this person is going to lead the country into a promised land, is going to bring the development we need, and is going to end the suffering of the citizens of this country, as a traditionalist, we will vote for you. But because we have a lot of Christian leaders that are being contrary to what they are supposed to do in power. So if we will get a traditionalist that is going to do according to the will of the people, then why not? We are going to vote for them. So please, let's brush off that kind of statement in our mind. And let's also have it in mind that whatever you do today as a leader, whether in party A or party B, and you feel like your party is in power, so you can do whatever you want, then trust me, in 2028, you're going to receive the shock of your life. Now, thank you for making time with me on The Best Girl.
In 2028, they are going to receive the shock of their life. What is going to be that shock, though?
That shock is actually going to be...
Okay, so for example, the NDC is in power now.
Mm-hmm.
So what the promises they made and a whole lot of stuff, when we don't see them doing that, when they don't deliver on their promises, then trust me, in 2028, why should we keep them in power? No, we're going to keep them in power. We're going to bring a new person who we feel is going to ease that kind of pressure on the youth and create jobs for them, and then fulfill the promises. Because it's not only about you saying it, you have to walk your talk. So if you don't walk your talk, then 2028, you shouldn't even wait for a prophet to prophesy to you, because your defeat is at hand.
You don't even need to wait for a prophet to prophesy to you, because your defeat is already at hand.
Yeah.
Miss Gina, are they going to receive the shock of their life?
Let's wait and see.
Let's wait and see. Give us today in history. Let's learn.
All right. So today in history is African World Heritage Day. May 5th is recognized as African World Heritage Day, established by UNESCO in 2015. This day celebrates Africa's rich cultural and natural heritage, aiming to raise awareness about the importance. Today is also International Day of the Midwives. May 5th is celebrated globally as the International Day of the Midwife, established in 1992 by the International Confederation of Midwives. This day honors the vital role midwives play in ensuring the health and well-being of mothers and newborns worldwide. Russia and Prussia signed Treaty of St. Petersburg. Russia and Prussia signed the Treaty of St. Petersburg, which marked Russia's formal exit from the 7 Years' War. Today in history, 1936, Italian occupation of Addis Ababa. During the Second Italo-Ethiopian War, Italian forces completed their occupation of Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, consolidating Benito Mussolini's colonial rule until 1941. On this same day, Liberation Day, Patrons' Victory Day in Ethiopia. Exactly 5 years later, on May 5th, Emperor Haile Selassie triumphantly returned to Addis Ababa, marking the end of Italian occupation. Ethiopia celebrates this as Patriot Victory Day. 2007, Kenya Airways Flight 507 crashed in Cameroon. On May 5th, Kenya Airways Flight 507 crashed shortly after takeoff from Douala, Cameroon, killing all 114 on board. It remains the deadliest air disaster in Cameroon's history. Moving to some Did You Know for today. Did you know that apples float in water because they are less dense than water? And this is largely due to the fact that about 25% of their volume is air. The air pockets within the apple structure contribute to its overall buoyancy. Did you know that lobsters taste with their legs? Lobsters taste with their legs and chew with their stomachs. They have chemosensory hairs on their legs and walking feet that help them identify what they are eating. Instead of teeth, they have a grinding structure in their stomach called the gastric mill, which breaks down food. Did you also know that some snails can sleep for up to 3 years during periods of drought? Some snails can indeed sleep for up to 3 years during periods of drought through a process called estivation, where they conserve moisture and energy in a dormant state. And this is where I end today's Today in History. And did you know, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for that fascinating fact. Yeah, so today happens to be World Heritage Day, right?
Yeah.
And what are we supposed to be doing today? Are we supposed to be wearing African wear?
Exactly. Because we celebrate our Africans' cultural and rich heritage.
Oh, so today is World Heritage Day.
Yeah.
But do we commemorate that right here in this country? As in,
no, really.
Today, 5th May happens to be World, because I've not seen it before.
Yeah.
Just like
It's
how we
not
have
really
March as
set March.
Yeah, and even the whole of March as our Ghana month. Yeah. So this one is telling us that today is World Heritage Day.
Yeah.
So
and today is also International Day of the Midwives.
International Day of the Midwife.
Yeah. So today is the day we acknowledge and applaud midwives for their unwavering support, especially to women and newborn babies. Yeah.
That's interesting. There are days, so when is they are indeed days. But how come we don't, commemorate all these days, or we don't even celebrate it? Is it that people don't know about it, or they don't
really know about it?
People don't really.
Yeah. It's not in their dictionary.
I'm just hoping that we get to see at least today, if not we recognizing today as the World Heritage Day, at least for midwives, we should hear something like that.
Yeah.
That today is World Midwifery Day.
And Saturday was World Press Freedom Day.
Yeah, for that I was aware of that.
And just like the way we hype what's the name? 1st May, Independence Day, when we do same to all this, midwifery day.
So what can we do? I think more education and awareness should be. More education and more awareness should be done with regards to this.
Yeah, they need to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Very necessary.
So we'll be going to cover the demonstration very soon. What's our expectation? Because
expectation game.
There's no expectations. They're just going to go
I'm just hoping that people are not going to. It's not going to be chaotic like
no.
the subsequent ones we've had so far. And today happens to be Monday, and it's going to cause traffic for people who are in a hurry to get to work.
You just walk in. I like and walk.
Yes.
No,
so
just then this one they have to chatter. Motorbike.
Yeah. So if you see any traffic in town, just know that today is demonstration day. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Right after this, we'll be coming up with the news. Please stick and stay with us.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio and yes say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app no our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, go Intakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page and so now listen. E be your fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast on Ghana Talks Radio, streaming live inside our studios. Coming up, the National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Salam Mustafa, accuses the National Democratic Congress of undermining the judiciary as it take on the street to protest today. Eduji Tamaklo commends President Mohammed's commitment to consistency in government. Education Minister criticizes poor quality of food in senior high schools. These and many more coming up shortly. My name is Deborah Adoso. To our first story, the National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Salam Mustafa, has accused the National Democratic Congress of consistently attacking the judiciary. He referred to the NDC. He referred the NDC's criticism of the judiciary, calling us often unanimous and potentially biased. This follows the suspension of the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokunu. With regards to the New Patriotic Party, is set to protest against what they term as intimidating to the judiciary and rule of law. They spoke to the media.
Of the president is a highly trained driver. And at any point in time, anybody who is going to drive the president or the vice president are highly skilled drivers. They take them for specialized training and so on and so forth. They can shoot and drive at the same time, both forward and backwards, and are armed. So usually, the people who drive the president are co-opted into national security.
Right.
Not long ago, we saw the president's brother drive him. That is not misbehavior. That is misbehavior. But that one, the president, is immune. Nobody is talking about the president breaking any law, but the Chief Justice, someone says, has misbehaved on essentially the same stated grounds. That's what I'm saying, that this thing is a whole cooked shenanigan to take the Chief Justice away, interfere in the judiciary. And it did not start today. When the NDC were in opposition, they kept bastardizing the judiciary. So much so bad that this attack was led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama himself. And at a point in time, they christened the judiciary as united.
You heard from the National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Salam Mustafa. Now moving on, Acting Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Edwiji Tamaklo, has praised President Mahama for demonstrating consistency in word and deeds. According to him, President Mahama's action align with his words, demonstrating consistency and reliability in his leadership. He also emphasized teamwork and fairness in his leadership approach, promising to work collaboratively with the National Petroleum Authority staffs to achieve the authority's mandate. Mr. Tamako pledged to advance President Mahama's vision for the National Petroleum Authority, focusing on alleviating the authority and transforming the petroleum downstream industry.
For a president or whoever to get involved in the removal of another person, it's like Pontius Pilate. It is not a duty anybody wants to perform laughing. It takes a lot of courage to comply with that constitutional dictate. But I've always said, President Mahama has demonstrated consistency indeed. How do I say? Why do I say so? If you recall, when the MPP, my MPP brother, Richie Nyama and Frank Anodompre brought the petition for the removal of Vivian Lamptey, Loretta Lamptey, the strike was appointed by President Mills. President Mahama didn't say that the petitioners were MPP ideologues. He received it. And in the case of Loretta Lamptey, President Mahama, after Georgina Wood CJ made a prima facie determination against her and set up the Niyebua Maria Mowusu Benin Committee, President Mahama suspended her. So, consistent with the conduct of President Mahama is what we are. The Ghana Bar Association felt that as for strike boards can be suspended. As for Electoral Commission board can be removed. But a CJ cannot be removed by following the constitutional requirement. How?
The Education Minister Haruna Idrisu expressed their frustration over the declining quality of male-served senior high schools across the country. Addressing stakeholders at the inauguration of the newly constituted Governing Council of the Ghana Education Service, the minister warned that the ministry may be forced to review the current system, which places food supply responsibilities in the hands of headmasters if immediate improvements are denied. He thanks the Ghana Education Service Director General with launching an internal audit of the food supply chain and conduct surprise visits to schools to ensure quality standards are met.
The president and brought to my attention that some of your headmasters in the NDC manifesto we pledge that we allow headmasters, business and the institutions to do food supply. We are not satisfied with the quality of the food that is being supplied. And we are not satisfied even with the timely distribution of the food. I will not hesitate to reverse that policy decision, even though I manifest the pledge, in order to guarantee that the right quality and quantities of the food products are supplied. I expect that internal audits in the schools, together with national, will strengthen the policing of the food, and once in a while, maybe Director General, you and Professor Avoke, you can even have an unannounced visit to the schools at the time that they are having their meals, in order that you can appreciate the quality of food that is being served. So a caution to our headmasters to improve the food that is being supplied, its quality. In fact, maybe before we end, the president sent me a WhatsApp of some food that he was very, very unhappy with. I will share it with you, Professor Avoke, in order to guide you.
Beyond the issue of food quality, how might Risu raise concerns?
In response, the chairman of the governing council, Professor Mauto Avoke, assured the public of the council's determination to hold high educational standards and ensure the safety and well-being of all students.
The widespread violence in our schools today, which requires immediate and proactive response. The council will be part of the vanguard to ensure that appropriate and proactive policies are put in place to ensure that such behaviors are minimized in our schools.
Moving on to other stories, shoemakers and artisans in the Manhyia South constituency has been assembled in effort to enhance their skills, form a cohesive market, engage the supply and demand for shoemaking in the country. The Manhyia South Shoemaking Hub project is in that powering craftsmanship and creating jobs through a robust shoe production hub for the constituency. Under 7 phases, artisans and beneficiaries are expected to be inculcated with skills in product development, branding, marketing, and certification. Addressing the theme empowering hands and elevating dreams in crafting Ghana's future, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe indicated that the long-standing advocacy for technical and vocational education is practically transforming community lives.
The Manhyia Shoemaking Hub project is an extension of that vision and nurtured by the belief that local solutions driven by local hands can lift entire communities and change the fortunes of nations. Today, we proudly celebrate the progress we have made. In phase 1, we conducted a comprehensive needs assessment to understand the gaps and opportunities.
The launch also marked the beginning of a broader ambition to establish a common facility center in Manhyia South to nurture apprentices and made-in-Ghana footwears for domestic and international market. Coordinator of the Manhyia South Shoemaking Hub project, Antwi Yeboah, says an assessment has revealed that that there's a demand market for jobs and treat to absorb artisans and their projects.
This is the idea that we have. This is the vision that we want to share with Ghanaians. That one day we want Manhyia South to be the shoemaking hub of Ghana. That if you want to have good shoes, it should be in Manhyia South. I was even asking them why everything was black slipper, and they told me that in Kumasi, if you do brown slippers, they won't buy. They prefer the black. Actually, that was an eye-opening for me, because if you want to do a project, you need to understand the needs of the people you are targeting. So we've come to understand that this is the situation of Kumasi, so we will do it according to how they like. However, I believe that if we do it better, we can have the products and the markets beyond Kumasi.
Meanwhile, Pioneer Master Shoemaker says their skills has been polished to produce standardized quality for customers.
The higher packaging, 2 skills, 2 finishing. Shoemakers are your Ghana and Manhyia South now. You're lucky. We buy your fair, but finishing a problem. You call your Nina or much how to a package and how a
In business, the newly sworn-in governor of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Asante-Asiedu, has promised to support the bank's mandate of price stability, aiming to control inflation and maintain economic resilience. She highlights the need to collaborate with colleagues to promote financial inclusion, innovation and driven economic growth. President Mahama sworn in Matilda Asiedu as the second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana on May 2nd at the Jubilee House in Accra. Her appointment reflects the government's effort to restore professionalism and integrity to the central bank, bringing seasoned expertise to the nation's financial sector.
To be called to serve at this level at such a crucial moment in our nation's economic history is both an honor and a solemn duty, and I do not take it lightly at all. As the second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, I pledge to uphold the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and professionalism. I will work closely with the Governor and the First Deputy Governor, the Board, and the exceptional staff at the Bank of Ghana to strengthen our institutional framework, build a robust and resilient financial system, and consolidate the trust and confidence that Ghanaians have in our financial system. Mr. President, permit me to express my admiration for the Governor, Dr. Johnson Panditisiama, and the Second Deputy, Dr. Zachary Mumini, for the leadership they have demonstrated so far. Under their stewardship, as you mentioned, the Bank of Ghana, through forward-looking measures, has been able to manage inflation, stabilize the currency, and continues to rebuild investor and public confidence. And I'm truly proud to be joining a team that is firmly focused on enhancing credibility and
in sports, Accra Hearts of Oak assistant head coach Nana Yao Amankwa has stated that despite the club's inability to beat big rivals Kumasi Asante Kotoko, his side was happy to avoid conceding to the Porcupine Warriors. Hearts of Oak drew goalless with Kotoko at the Accra Sports Stadium in the standout Ghana Premier League fixture this weekend. Whilst the game largely underwhelmed and Hearts failed to end what is now a 5-game winless streak against its great rivals, Nana Yawamankwa was satisfied with the club not conceding. Hearts' draw with Kotoko means that the Phobian club sits 6th in the league, standing with 46 points, and are 8 points of leaders Nation FC with 4 games left to play in the campaign. To some showbiz, Kumawood actress Sandra Babio recently shared her thoughts on what matters most in choosing a partner. According to her, personality takes precedence over material possessions. This insight into her personal life comes after she previously spoke about the significant role her colleagues played in her growth within the movie industry.
Do not deal with who you are. I deal with personality more than anything. I don't deal with physique, I don't deal with anything, but you like personality. And they attract me to somebody.
And they attract you to somebody. And yet they are nipa ye.
And yet they are what? I don't actually care what you have. Your personality attracts me, I like it.
So nipa ni niska.
I'm not somebody who is actually into Sanya Mano say way, I don't care. See, I look different from who I actually am.
You look different?
Perfectly, because you know, they perceive you to be a certain kind of person, but I'm an entirely different person.
Okay.
Maybe I'm a free, maybe I'm a call, maybe I'm a free Montino. I do not actually care what you actually have. There might be people who do not have, but they actually have potential. There might be people who have, but I think I deal with connection, I deal with personality, I deal with you as a person, what is in you rather than what.
And that's how we wrap up for now on the Morning News broadcast. Thank you for doing the listening. Don't forget to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalksRadio.com for more detailed information. My name is Deborah Adoso. Do have a good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond. Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi keshito.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues,
entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide. I'm level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Or you singer and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fi spit fire now. Listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio and you say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app no. Our Play Store and the App Store. No tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, go Instagram, any Ghana Talks Radio page and so now listen. Ebe your fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
It's another beautiful morning, a Monday morning, a money-making Monday. A good morning to you wherever you are. My name is Pakwesi Omare. It's a new week, a brand new week with brand new stories, issues popping up here and there. We know about the most Debbie, most viral story in the year as the demonstration going on today at demonstration.
I think they said first of all they'll start from a Kwame Nkrumah cycle and then they'll head it all around to, if I'm correct, maybe the Jubilee House.
Well, yeah, this is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show on Ghana Talks Radio. Join the conversation on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio, on Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok, and on X. You can also join on YouTube, Ghana Talks Radio. Our WhatsApp platform is 0202-544-614. 0202-544-614. Now, before we get into the discussions for today, I have a little issue I want to address. It's little but very important to us as a country. For quite some time now, Ghanaians have been talking. This is a maiden edition of Ghana Talks. There's something we will be doing mostly every week, every morning, if there are issues like this to tackle. We call it the Ghana Talks. This is a segment where we bring to you what Ghanaians are saying. And today, what are Ghanaians saying? For quite some time now, we've had issues with our sanitation addressing. The people contracted to handle the sanitation of this country have been in the discussion for quite some time now. I am talking about the company in the name of Zoom Lion, owned by the Jospon Group of companies. Ghana as a country have a problem with sanitation. In 2018, our president made us understand that, our former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, made us understand that he is going to make Ghana the cleanest city in Africa. But what do we see now? We see Ghana to be one of the dirtiest, filthiest cities, countries in Africa rather. And the most shocking part is the capital of the city, Accra. Jospon's Zoom Lion are the people contracted to handle the sanitation crisis in this country. After this new administration took over, there's been discussions on whether Zoom Lion should continue handling this issue of the country's sanitation or not. The Attorney General said something some time ago, not so long ago, about an MP who has taken bribe in the issue of the NSS scandal. He didn't mention the MP's name, but he said with time he is going to reveal the MP's name. Right after that, an MP attacked the Attorney General. It was an automatic attack. In football terms, we call it tackle from behind. When you now also crowd, so people were just surprised, like, why will this MP attack the Attorney General? Like, that was it. We didn't know why. One of our renowned investigative journalists in this country, in the person of Manasseh Azuri, highlighted this issue with Zoom Lion, that the contract with Zoom Lion is a rip-off contract to the country because they are paid heftily but providing a service beneath what is required of them. He has been calling for this contract to be terminated for quite some time. Now, the new Youth Employment Agency's director or CEO, in the person of Malik Basentali, has been in engagement with Zoom Lion for quite some time now to whether or not sustain the contract. Now, this is where the real issue is. Zoom Lion takes 850 per head from government, contracts people and pay them 250 a month to work. You take 850 cedis and pay the workers 250 cedis for 31 days to keep this country clean. Is this fair in the eyes of we as a people, as Ghanaians? Moreover, let's look at the service they are providing to us. In all fairness, do we see Ghana as a clean country? Let's even take Accra. Just Accra. Look at how filthy, how dirty Accra is. And we spend this amount of money to contract a company which is serving us with a a symbolic service like this, ripping off people to enrich themselves, the call for the termination of Zoom Lions contracts has been in discussion by Ghanaians, and the masses are saying that the YEA CEO should terminate the contract. How is this so difficult for you to do? What engagements do you need again with Zoom Lion? Mr. Basintali. Yesterday, an MP sat on TV and admitted that when the cry came against Zoom Lion's contract to be terminated, which he, that MP, in the name of A+, was one of the loudest mouths or advocates for that contract to be terminated, he was bribed. And yes, me obisio on one enumasem or say ye bribe no. He says the Just Pawn Company, the owner of Zoom Lion, called him and bribed him with a good amount of money to shut down that call for the termination of that contract. Enti adeɛ na edi ɔman ni nya na Yesu sɛ yɛnyɛ hu biribi no, nipa na contract na wagye ɛwɔ so ɔyɛ ɔman ni yi, he is supposed to keep the city clean, no? Instead of addressing the cries of the masses, he is rather going around bribing people to stop talking about the issue. Is this not a fair ground to even terminate that contract with immediate effect? Mr. Jospon, Mr. Zoom Lion, a church elder, this is what you do. These are the people we look up to as leaders. How is Christianity even going to look attractive to people? This is a shameful act by a church elder. A very shameful act. A corrupt act. And so was sikana ubetum de atu adwuma ye fo ne kai no ma ye adwuma ni yi won ye. You rather use it to bribe someone to stop talking about the issue, the wrong thing you are doing. How can you be this wicked? How much do you spend on your pets in your house? What pets? One crama no how much do you spend on them? And you give 250 cedis to someone to work for 31 days. And when you are called out on that, instead of you to restructure, admit, address it, you are suppressing the issue, killing it in the media space by bribing people who are supposed to talk about it. Now guess what? A+ is not the only one with a mouth in Ghana. And you are not open our voice for Ghana how? I am standing with Manasseh and the 32 million Ghanaians who are calling for the termination of this contract. Mr. Basintali, if you don't terminate this contract, we will petition you. We will demonstrate against you. The next 4 years, what now why you are? Me see you bet demonstrating against you until so better terminates our contract with. How can someone be this wicked? This shameful? Sikana what the betua adwumayefo ne kan what the kwa bribe obi se ma na nka adwumayefo na wusisi won no ho eye kro no wo ye kronfo you are robbing them. You are robbing the workers. 250 cedis a month. People taking 3,000 are complaining. People taking 3,000 cedis in this country, they are complaining. How will someone survive with 250 cedis? And to top it up, you are bribing people not to talk about it. Me won't bribe me. Who this kind of crime enje? Me can't cause say you better terminate your contract. No. And to Mr. A Plus, I am very disappointed in you. Very disappointed. Because you are one of the people I really, really admired. We saw you, how you rose up from where you were to where you are now. It is inspiring, it is encouraging to every Ghanaian youth. So wherever you are, with determination, you can get to whichever height you set up for yourself. Just last week, there was a confrontation between you and the Attorney General. And with that, the Attorney General challenged you. And in fact, assured Ghanaians that he has an issue on you or the back out. Now my question is this. So Attorney General na meka sa ade na enke no ra wo betina TV so aka wanu masem. So what you bribe? Because probably, and this is how I see it, who's Attorney General and the Baba Bonting? And you said it in a skewing way, in another blackmailing manner, as people has been tagging you with. The fact is you have taken a bribe as an MP. So everyone is looking out for themselves. Selfish people. Selfish people. You are satisfying your pockets at the detriment of the Ghanaian masses. And so ubeje bribe. Na semne ha Ghana for. Yede wa kom mra sheba dwam se nka mo advocate ma ye no. Waka wano atum. A plus. You've really disappointed me. You've really disappointed me. I expected much more from you. You boast yourself up with being a person of fairness, a person of justice, and I watch a bribe. This is one of the serious issues we have in Ghana, our sanitation problem. Why you want sikana ya allocate koho to take care of these things? Ghana for your tax money. Ya yesika enye obi na dia beche why yes o momfanye no moye no. It is our money and we are calling on you, Malik Basintali. Yen ana yesi Zoom Lion or mome ye adwuma na man. Yesi empo mu biem. It's as simple as that. Se me kofa chef ba me fie, mani sika se onu aduane ma me. Na me ka se me pe banku na me pe. Want to man wa banku no enti me mpa ni biem. It's as simple as that. What we contracted them for, they are not doing it how we want them to do. They should stop doing it. Give it to another person. We've seen volunteers. We've seen volunteers, the bus stop boys, doing much more with little materials, little equipment they have than what Zoom Lion is doing. We have been calling for a decentralization of the sanitation issue. Yen Jimfi Zoom Lion sem. That we should decentralize it once again. Give it to the assemblies. The assemblies decentralize it. Give it to their town councils. The towns themselves, look, back then, sorry, every weekend, Saturday and Opebia, a Krobia nimse omokoye a clean up exercise. Oh, fear na town council for Aba. Oh, fear, they will fine you. Let's go back to that. Young found the animal assemblies, no. Whatever money we are giving to Zoom Lion, let's allocate it to the assemblies to take care of it. The assemblies can use those monies, buy enough dustbins, enough refuse containers, engage the town councils. The town councils will engage the town folks. They will keep their cities, their towns, their communities clean. One budget here million Ghana cedis. Your tax money. Now one some fence see ya wo for ni enuanom. Na ya kwaka wa bribe nkrofo afachi se memo mo nka ho asem. You are a corrupt leader. You are very corrupt. You are a very corrupt leader and shameful. And to A plus. Wabeka, yes. But one can in admitting it in a remorseful way. Walk out to boast up yourself and you want to show us the real A plus you are. What's the real A plus? The real A plus is that you have taken bribe. You take bribe. You are corrupt yourself. You are corrupt yourself. Mr. Basintali, this is what Ghanaians are saying. This is a perfect ground for you to terminate that contract. Decentralize it as it's been suggested to you. Give it to the assemblies. The assemblies will know how to also decentralize it to the town councils. This is as simple as ABC. It is as simple as ABC. We have volunteers, the bar store boys, doing much more than Zoom Lion is doing. You can empower them as well. You can empower them, support them. Let them keep doing what they are doing. Now you check contract in free. There's corrupt company of Zoom Lion in some. We don't need them anymore. We don't want their services anymore. They don't serve us as we want, and so we are not going to waste our monies on them. They are not a government entity, they are a private entity. And we don't want them anymore as a Ghanaian people. We are looking forward to hear a positive response from you on this issue. Especially after what A Plus came to say yesterday. Don't disappoint us. In opposition, we hailed you as the youth president. Now you are in position. Show us why the youth trusted you to come to power. Mr. Malik Basintali. Thank you. Yes, so that was Ghana Talks, what Ghanaians are saying. Debbie?
I think that's a part B version of grill.
Yeah.
Part B version of...
Cecilia, we will be giving them a daily double dose.
Exactly.
Say you can't book or no more pa.
Not just say your show so.
You can't keep ripping us off like that.
Sure. And it's very sad.
I mean,
listen to what you are saying. Very, very sad.
How do you pay someone 250 cedis
a month?
And instead of you to address the issue in a favorable manner, in a remorseful manner, What's Sanya Fechi?
Akotua.
Man.
That they should silence the issue.
If Malik really sustains this contract, I will lead the demonstration myself.
And you see, the part that got me shocked was when you mentioned that he is a leader in church.
Oh yeah, Pentecost elder.
And no wonder Edu Boahin is also a leader in church. He's also an elder. So what are they trying to convey? It means these people, they are just using Christ as a cover up. And then behind that, they do something different.
Very shady stuff.
And some lion, they are intermediaries,
very
right?
Shady. Yeah.
And you receive 880 monthly.
Now
and then the 250. No wonder these people do not do their work.
But how do you expect them to do it?
And it's very sad.
Me will charge 257 may spend the day in cleaning
a whole day.
Man.
I mean, I won't even go far. Just a brand here.
Sorry, I'm if you got an animal, I'm a proper and I'm a question me fee. 250. Yeah, so this GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. We are heated in the studio and we are bringing you more heats. Today, one of the topics we are going to be looking at is the demonstration by the National Patriotic Party.
Yes.
They are the most weighty opponents in Ghana when it comes to political medium. And the issue with the Chief Justice, this is how the issue was. Ghanaians have petitioned the President Mahama. And do you know the funny thing? The first petition for the removal of this Chief Justice was submitted to the previous president. Yeah. The first petition.
No, but why was it submitted to the previous president instead of the current one?
The first one. Akufo-Addo time. Ano petition here.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't. Yeah, but he just
ignored it.
Yeah.
And we didn't even hear anything else.
How will you hear?
Such this thing never came on. This before.
How will you hear? And Ghanaians are. The thing about a Chief Justice is that you don't just remove a Chief Justice or dismiss them. You need to go through a particular process. And so removing a Chief Justice is not issue. We will be going on the line very soon to speak to the Wejabawe constituency youth organizer for the NPP regarding this issue of the removal of the Chief Justice and the demonstration the NPP is having today. Good morning, sir. Hello, Mr. Bekwe. Mr. Bekwe. Hello. Hello, Mr. Bekwe. Mr. Bekwe, good morning. I think we are having issues with our phone lines, but we will get him on the line very soon and have some discussions with him regarding the demonstration being held today in the capital of Accra. And you know, all the party folks are there to support. I think we have Mr. Bekwe on the line back. Good morning, sir. Mr. Bekwe, good morning. Hello. Hello, Mr. Bekwe. Wow, we are having a little bit of challenges with our phone lines. We will get Mr. Bekwe. We will get him for a conversation very soon. But so Ghanaians think that the service of the Chief Justice hasn't been convincing enough due to certain things she has done or she's been found in. So they've petitioned the president to remove the Chief Justice. As a president, if you are petitioned to remove a Chief Justice, there is a process you need to go through.
Sure.
You receive the petition, you present it to the Council of State to look at the petition And if the Council of State thinks that the petition has grounds to be conceded by the president, they also present it back to the president.
Mm-hmm.
The president in turn will present the petition to the Chief Justice and give her a time frame to respond to the petitions against her.
Mm-hmm.
After the response, the president in turn, in consultation with the Council of State, decides whether the Chief Justice should be removed
or
or be maintained. And it's constitutional. There's a constitutional exercise.
Mhm.
And so far, the president has followed this constitutional process. After receiving his feedback from the Council of State, he has nominated 5 people, a committee of 5, to probe into the issue regarding the removal of the Chief Justice. We are awaiting the results that will come out of the committee's findings. And as we are waiting for these results, the opposition party, which is the NPP, says that they think the president is being unconstitutional. The president is witch hunting. They've made so many allegations, and one of the most profound allegations they've made is that the president actually even wants to go for a 3rd term. Now, I don't see how all these things relates to the removal of a Chief Justice. And this particular removal is not something orchestrated even by the president. He only received a petition. And as a carrier of the petition, he needs to submit it through due process. Else he, the president, could even be impeached. Now, I think we have Mr. Bekwe on the line, so let's get back to him. Hello, good morning, sir.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Bekwe.
Yes, good morning. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, sure. Please, how are you doing?
I'm very well, by the grace of God. Unfortunately, we are just having a very sad day today.
Why is it a sad day today?
It's a sad day for the good people of Ghana. Ghanaian people are sad.
Yeah.
Corporate institutions are sad. Market women are sad. Traders are sad. Consumers are sad. Citizens of Ghana, we are all sad.
We are all sad. And why do you think the citizens of Ghana are sad, Mr. Bekwe?
Today happens to be a day where everybody in the country is sad, and today we are in red. The reason why we are sad and we are in red is because the government of Ghana has decided to touch the judiciary.
Okay. In regards to the thatching of the judiciary by the government of Ghana, let's break it down. Today, the NPP, which is your party, is staging a demonstration against the current administration by the NDC in regards to the removal of the Chief Justice. Am I right, sir?
Yes, you are very right.
Okay. Why are you demonstrating against that process? Because it hasn't been established yet that the Chief Justice is going to be removed, so it's still in process. Why is your party against the process?
Okay, so let me just make this point clear.
Yeah.
My party is not demonstrating against, or I would say, the MPP is not demonstrating against the government.
Okay.
But these are several political parties that have come together, and these are the people of Ghana trying to make a way through. Because, you can't sit and then decide that at this point we would have to suspend the CJ for what reason? You understand? We must leave these institutions to work.
Okay.
Government over the period.
Yeah.
We were here in this country where the government, the people, CEOs were sacked. Today it has gotten to the Chief Justice. Tomorrow we don't know where it's going to get to.
Okay. Mr. Bakwe.
Yes, boss.
Leading to the suspension of the Chief Justice, we all were briefed that some people, some citizens, petitioned the president in regards to the removal of the Chief Justice. And with due cause to the removal of a Chief Justice, if a president is being petitioned on such a case, he moves on to present the petition to the Council of State. If they come back to say that the petition has enough grounds to be conceded, then the president then goes back to the Chief Justice who has been petitioned with a petition for her to respond to the petition. Afterwards, a case might be established, and if that becomes the case, a committee set up to probe into the issue. Their result will come back to establish the president's decision or inform the president's decision whether or not to keep the Chief Justice or to suspend her, or no, to actually dismiss her. All these processes we've seen has been attended to. With her suspension, we think that, or in all fairness, don't you think it is in the right course to give the Chief Justice a break for all these issues or matters to die down, for her to resume her position?
My brother.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to ask you just a simple question.
Yes, please.
And I need a very clear answer.
Okay.
We are in this country.
Yes.
We've been told some certain persons have petitioned the government.
Yes.
Is that not so?
Yes, please. That is it.
Okay. So who are these petitioners? As a journalist, who are these petitioners? Do you know them?
No, I don't know them.
So it is assumed,
Yeah.
or there is a propaganda which has been set,
Okay.
that some certain persons have petitioned the government for the removal of CJ. We need to know those certain persons who have petitioned them.
Okay.
Until that, the fundamentals of whatever is happening is wrong.
It's wrong. Okay.
So there is nothing to go. There's nothing to contest.
Okay.
I think the NDC as a government over the period want everything. I mean, I don't know if they are trying to incorporate a military junta and infringe on the right of democracy.
Okay.
And under the rule of law.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
What His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama is trying to do is a jura constitutionnel volet, which means he is going against the rule of law and he is violating the rule of law under any legal framework.
Okay. Can you please brief us? Can you please brief us on where he has gone against the rule of law?
You see, let me that is why I said from the beginning, from the fundamental of where the whole issue started, that there are some certain persons who have petitioned the government.
Yeah.
You understand? This is a certain government. We've known these people for all what they do.
Okay.
And we know whatever reason they are doing this.
Okay.
And this is why we are here. And as a country, if we want to get here, this is a precedent we are setting. And it will continue as so.
Okay. But with the mention of knowing the reasons why they are doing that. What do you think are the reasons why the NDC is doing this thing?
The reasons for the NDC doing this is best known to them.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to pave way or make mention of anything. It will all be alleged. But we want to let the Ghanaian people know that it is proper for the Chief Justice to continue his work. It is not in the good books of the rule of law to suspend the Chief Justice because you say a certain persons have petitioned. We want to know those persons who have done that.
Okay. Please, let me ask this question. Is it lawful or is it needed, required of the president to make known the petitioners to the public before he can proceed with whatever needs to be considered in the petition?
You see, this is the source document you understand that the NDC is currently using.
Yeah.
So as a source document, we need to know the petitioners.
But is the president required?
In every rule of law, there's something called evidence.
Okay.
You can't go to court and tell my lady or my lord, lord, this person says this. Under what evidence are you carrying to hold your case?
Okay.
So under the rule of law, there is something called evidence. So bring out the petitioners. Why is it that when we petition, the plaintiff is declared that this plaintiff is against some certain things, and the names of the plaintiff, address of these plaintiffs are published.
Okay.
You have the defendant also being published.
Okay. Mr.
So
Bakwe.
on my grounds, I can say boldly that the petition is a fake petition.
Okay.
And this is a way for the NDC to manipulate the system.
Okay. Mr. Bakwe, let me ask this. The petition was against the Chief Justice, right? Her Ladyship, Justice Tokunu. And the petition has been presented to her. In all fairness, don't you think if she felt something was wrong with the petition as to whether the names of the people and all this weren't provided to her, wouldn't she have come out herself to question the president about all these things?
Please, can you come back again? Can you come back again with the question?
Okay, I'm saying that you did mention that with such a petition we need evidence of the people who petitioned the president against the Chief Justice. We've also come to learn that the Chief Justice has received a copy of the petition. So definitely she's previewed to who and who had petitioned her. So if we as a masses are calling for evidence on behalf of the Chief Justice, who is yet to come out to call for all these evidences, meanwhile she has been the one who has actually received a copy of the evidence to even respond to the evidence, doesn't that questioning the president for evidence on who petitioned the Chief Justice?
My brother, you see, the letter which was issued to the public. I mean, the suspension letter was issued to the public.
Yeah.
So it is proper for the public who have interest to come out and then fight against the right, because the woman is also a Ghanaian.
Okay.
And you know, we are speaking about the rule of law.
Yeah.
And I can say on every grounds that today it is happening to CJ. Tomorrow it will be someone's turn. We need to stop that as a country. We shouldn't set precedents. We shouldn't let these lead this country.
Okay.
Democracy needs to speak.
Sure.
And this is the reason why all political parties in the Republic of Ghana, in this country, are demonstrating against what the government is doing. Okay. This is not what the government promised the people of Ghana. This is not what the people of Ghana wants from the government. And this is not what we want to see. We were promised a 24-hour economy. Where is it? Or is this a process to start having 4 CJs where we'll have morning CJ, we'll have afternoon CJ, and we'll have evening CJ? So we want to see their 24 economy, and they should stop hunting and harassing institutions.
Okay.
Ghanaian people are not happy.
Sure.
We are all not happy.
Okay.
So we will protest against it for CJ to be reinstated.
Okay.
Other than that, it is on record. The Labour Commission mentioned that the president should look into the matter of the fact that CJ is being suspended today. Today, the Ghana Bar Association is also speaking against it.
Yeah.
What has the Ghanaian people done to the president of Ghana or the government? Please, we need to set a very good precedence for the future, because we are also coming. And when this precedence is set, it will continue and continue, and it means we are infringing on the right of democracy in Ghana.
Okay.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Please, before I leave you to go, as figures of the Ghanaian people who are demonstrating today against the government for the suspension of the Chief Justice, and if I say as figures, I'm talking about the NPP as a party, also part of this demonstration. What is the interest of the NPP in this particular issue with the suspension of the CJ?
I earlier mentioned that it is a combined political parties.
Sure.
And political parties involve individuals. It involves the countries. You understand? It involves individuals or citizens of the country.
Yes, sir.
Citizens over 2 million have gathered.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes,
so
please.
Everybody has an interest because we don't, like I said, we don't want to infringe on the rights of democracy.
Sure.
Let us practice democracy.
Sure.
Let us let the CJ to work.
Sure.
If there is any form of misconduct, let us take it back to normal employment. Like, let's say you are working in a corporate institution.
Yes, please.
You find a fault with the staff.
Yeah.
The staff is queried. You are warned. The second time, the staff is queried. The staff is warned. The third time, the organization can take any decision to suspend. And the last would be that you'll be sacked.
Sure.
So where are the CJ faulted? If you have queries about her work, what you can do is to call her to order. CJ, I have query about whatever work you're doing.
Okay.
If she doesn't comply, then you can take any actions against her.
Okay.
And this is the reason why today the Ghanaian people are protesting against the fact that the NDC government is infringing on the rights of the people. I earlier said in Latin that there is something called, in the rule of law, there's something called jura constitutionnel voler, the violation of the rule of law.
Sure.
Thank you very much, my brother. Like I said, we have to continue the demonstration. We are sending our petition to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
We are also sending a petition to Parliament, because you know how the due process works. At the last part of it,
yes,
Parliament is supposed to approve whatever petition would be sent to them.
All right, sir.
So after that, we'll go back to the Jubilee House to end the demonstration there and present our petition there.
Okay. Okay, sir. We thank you very much too for making time with us on Ghana Talks Radio. We will get back to you right after the demonstration to get your feedback on it. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, sir. So that was Mr. Bekwin Kwame, the NPP's youth organizer for Wijabawe, who admonished that the president has gone against the rule of law in his bid of suspending the Chief Justice. Debbie, what do you make of his assertion this morning?
See, with all that he say, a lot of questions keep popping in my head. So he was like, the demonstration they are doing today in response to the removal of the Chief Justice, I mean, they are doing it because everybody is sad, and the traders at the market are sad. Come to think of it, how is the removal of the Chief Justice affecting traders in the market? Traders in the market, demonstration affecting traders. Are we really serious? And he was like, Mahama is violating the system, and so they should stop hunting and harassing the system, rather focus on their 24-hour economy. Isn't it also part of the economy? I mean, I wouldn't say that Mahama just stood up and then he was like, I'm removing the Chief Justice.
Okay.
This is some group of people who have petitioned the president based on reasons known to themselves. Because as it stands now, I haven't seen the petition. Neither have I read it. And I know you haven't seen it either. And so you coming out to tell us that what they are doing, they are violating the law, they are intimidating, and then they are harassing the system. How are they harassing the system? And earlier on, we said that the removal of the Chief Justice has to pass through due processes. And first it went to the Council of State, and afterwards, I mean, they've set up a 7 or 8 member committee to go through this process. And the committee is here to, I mean, bring out whatever conclusion they've made about it. And under Article 146 Clause 7, it says the committee appointed under Clause 6 of this article shall inquire into the petition and recommend to the president whether the Chief Justice ought to be removed from office. Now, this committee are not yet out with their findings.
And it could even be that with their findings, they might even recommend to the president that the Chief Justice should be maintained.
Exactly. And this is a case where the Chief Justice has been suspended. I mean, how do we understand suspension? She has been suspended.
But
she's not removed.
Do you think, in all fairness, do you think that the Chief Justice could be called back into office after the suspension?
Yes, it is a 50-50 sureties. It's 50%. It will be 50% true if she will be called back, depending on the findings and depending on what she did previously. Because trust me, the work she did previously in government will also count to it, and then the findings per what the petition. Per what is written in the petition. So they've suspended her. The president didn't announce that we've removed her. No. And so whatever shall be the outcome of the petition will now tell us whether the Chief Justice will be removed or she will be called back to continue with her service. And so this is a petition. Why? You see, this New Patriotic Party people, I feel like because they are in opposition and they don't really have anything, to do, so they want to, attract attention to themselves. And so you are going on a demonstration because they petitioned the president to remove the Chief Justice. Meanwhile, we were in the same country when, I don't know, maybe the same process, the EC was also booted out. Well, the country, maybe the NDC also demonstrated and I didn't see it. Similar things happened, but no one talked about it. And now that they've petitioned the president to remove the Chief Justice, you are going on a demonstration. And with this demonstration, Ghanaians are not happy. No, how many Ghanaians have they spoken to? Because you've not spoken to me, so you don't know whether I'm happy or I'm not. So there should be a survey. If I say Ghanaians are not happy, bring out a survey to show that maybe we've spoken to 1,000, because Ghana, we are amounting to 1 million, if only I'm not lying. So your survey should tell us that you've spoken to maybe 1,000 people or maybe 100 people, and out of the 1,000 people, 90 people told you that they are unhappy with the suspension of the Chief Justice. Then with that, you can tell us that you are demonstrating because Ghanaians are not happy.
But let me ask you this. personally, are you happy with the suspension of the Chief Justice?
Happy with it? Like, how will I even put this?
Put it in a way that Ghanaians will understand.
I'm not happy, and as it stands now, I can't say that I'm happy or I'm not happy.
Why?
It's just like someone making allegation against me that manager, see, Deborah is doing this, Deborah is doing that, so you have to take an action.
Yeah.
And this allegation the person is making forcefully against me, maybe you have no idea. And so manager comes out that, okay, fine, since you've brought this and I haven't noticed that with Deborah, then we have to call the team, maybe appoint Omari, appoint Cham, appoint Q here, and then sit down and then deliberate on the matter. Then after that, it's after you people come out and then bring out your findings as well, per what maybe FICO is saying concerning Deborah and per our findings and things. This is what we are bringing out. That is when I can say that maybe what they did was the right thing. But I wouldn't say I am happy. The only thing I would say is that the good deeds of the Chief Justice will speak for her. See, no matter how people leveled false accusation or allegations against you, your good deeds will definitely speak for you. Because I'm not sure someone will petition the president if they haven't seen anything wrong with your work or the execution of your duties. Maybe they have noticed something, and what they've noticed, maybe I haven't noticed that, and so they've petitioned the president. So the best thing for us to do as a country, and even the opposition party, was to just calm down and allow the president and the committee to flow. They should do their work. Then afterwards, you come out and then you tell us, this is what we found. And then per this, we are now declaring to the state or to the country that the Chief Justice will be removed or the Chief Justice will be maintained. But sitting here, I can't say I'm happy because if I say I'm happy right now, say someone's down for, you are being happy for the person down for, but no, I wouldn't say I'm happy now.
How is this a downfall for the Chief Justice? Because it's a service to the state. So even as a statesman or as a state person, if the state thinks that your service is no more in compliance with efficiency or with requirements of the states, you should be proud, stepping aside for another person to take over to meet the requirements of the state in the service of that position. So I don't really see it to be a step down.
Well, it's not really a step down though, but this is a case where since this issue popped out, I haven't heard from the Chief Justice. Or have you? I haven't seen a post on Twitter or anything. I mean, seeing the Chief Justice talking for herself or backing herself. It has to do with the party. So with what they are doing, it's rather.
So you think it makes it questionable for the NPP to speak for because the Chief Justice is supposed to be an independent body.
Exactly.
And for a party to stand for the Chief Justice, you think it's questionable?
It's questionable.
But the party also feels that they are also Ghanaians. We, even though we are a political party, we are Ghanaians. And so if something is going wrong with our rule of law, we need to stand up against that thing, regardless whether we are a party or we are whatsoever.
Rule of law, you see. Do you know, before we start the show, we don't really have, so let's just say alleged, that a previous government, our own president, Akufo-Addo, was petitioned, right? Told me, right? To remove the Chief Justice. So it means there is something fishy that we don't know. There is something fishy. Because if the Chief Justice is doing the right thing, then her deeds should speak for her. Why would you stand up fighting for her whilst the person is silent? It means you know what you've been doing.
You see, when we're speaking to Mr. Bakwin, he mentioned of precedents. And going back to 2017, we saw the EC then, Charlotte Osei, Madame Charlotte Osei, being removed from her position based on a petition that the president received then.
Sure.
And even with her, she requested for a copy of the petition, and she wasn't given to that. So, if we are speaking of precedents, do you think that it's something of, you know, the NDC looking at what the NPP did with Madame Charlotte, which is why they are also taking a bite here? Or you think this is a fair ground of a petition, even though the NPP feels that this is an orchestrated, because they haven't seen anyone. But you know, Professor Kweku Azar has come out to say he submitted a petition.
He submitted a petition to the president.
If we are looking for faces behind the petition, I think that is one of the faces.
Okay.
So it justifies that probably there's not an orchestrated ambush against the Chief Justice by the NDC or the president, but this is something that Ghanaians are fairly challenging the service of the Chief Justice, which is why they petitioned the president.
I think in a way, it might be that they are trying to hit back to them because of what they did to Charlotte Osei.
Okay.
And in a way too, it may be a fair play.
Okay.
Because I can't remember, was it a survey that there were like 50 or 53% of Ghanaians want the Chief Justice out. And I'm sure they want her out because of maybe what they've seen. But the Chief Justice she has been the Chief Justice for 8 years, right?
No.
Or
I think it's
or the second term of president. So that would be 4 years. At least 4 years, what Juma. So people have seen what you have done. Whether good or wrong, they've seen. They've noticed. You see, one thing we should have in mind is that, and even to the current administration, you are in power doesn't mean that you are not going to be in opposition one day. You will definitely be in opposition one day. So whatever you are doing today, you have to take note. Because when you don't do it, at that bonnet will be the day you go in opposition. And when you go in opposition, trust me, the same thing you did to them is the same thing they are going to do to you. This thing is something common in Ghana politics, and we know it.
Okay.
So with you saying that the NDC are doing this because of what they do to Charlotte Osei, 50% I would say is true.
Okay.
And 50% I would say maybe it's a fair play. Because let's look at what they did to Charlotte Osei. Just like that. And then she requested that, as you said, to view maybe what they've written against her, so that she will know, so that she can even defend herself. Maybe what is written in the petition is wrong, but no. And you see, there was silence everywhere. And then now is the turn of the Chief Justice. You are not talking about rule of law. You are not talking about the protection of the judiciary. You are not talking about the independence of the judiciary. Now you know the judiciary needs to be independent and not dependent. But we all know what is going on here. We can even see a whole political party indulging in something that needs to be prosecuted, and then because they have their people chief in the judiciary system, they play it out. And then we see people going to still plantain and they are being jailed. So all this thing counts.
So you think all these things are fair grounds for for the petition?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Let's hope that the outcome of this demonstration bears fruit as to what the sad people in Ghana today.
So even the traders selling tomatoes at the marketplace are also sad.
Have you been at the market today?
Oh, No, but Saturday I was there.
Probably Mr. McQueen is at the market and he knows that the people are sad.
Speaking to him, like it was as if he was on ground, not at the marketplace.
Oh, definitely he passed through the market before getting
See,
or probably
my mothers and grandmothers.
The market people are also there. He said this is not an MPP thing. He said this is like a collective.
It's a collective way. Yeah. But see, my mothers and grandmothers at the marketplace do not care about judicial whatever. Sometimes when you go to them to even ask them their fair knowledge about the judicial, madam, me what's na hano? Nye here na say dollar ni CD no. Ebe say it's to correlate. Send ebe ya nyoma no moto no. Or anya hon fa so adi ahwe ne ma. Na wo begina ha na ka judicial asem say traders are. It means see the MPP themselves, I would say they've lost focus and looks as if they just want a place to hide themselves and then attract the attention of the public. That's what I'm seeing.
Think. Okay, so you are also in the shout that they are just bored. Just that they also labeled the NDC that the NDC was bored when they held the protest last year.
So they also warm up.
Well, still in the issues of judges and courts and all that. Last week we saw the president nominate 7 judges to the Supreme Court. The NDC in opposition was loud about the former president nominating people into the courts. How many judges do we have now in the Supreme Court? I think it's about 16.
There are many.
And the addition of the 7 is going to make it about 20 something, 22, 23. So, crying foul in opposition, you get position, and you're also doing same. What is that about?
Goodness, I'm not surprised.
Do you think we need this much judges in our courts now?
No, I'm not sure we need much judges, and I feel like the ones we have can actually do exactly what we want them to do, because it is the same duties they are all performing.
Okay.
Depending on the ranks to do, because we have ranks, right? The judges, the chief justice, the Kaifon, But when when we are seeing it from a political point of view, Ghana.
Yeah.
CPP Kraba, they will still appoint.
Okay, let's take the political lenses of it. When we are seeing it from not a political point of view, most of these judges appointed are actually past their promotion. Let me put it that way. They should have been there long before, but they haven't been there. So I say, without a political lens, it's a fair call for them to be where they are now, or to get that nomination into that position. That is without the political lens. But looking at the political lens, do you think that the NDC fails the current judges at the Supreme Court, who always had decisions, especially in issues regarding the two heavyweight parties, the NDC and the NPP? They always had decisions in favor of the NPP. So they think that they should also balance the number of judges there with some of their nominated appointees, so that some of 5 a balance equation. Do you think in the political sense that is what the NDC is trying to do?
Yes.
And if that is the case,
yes,
how does it what does it say about our judicial system?
It says it's simple. It says that our judicial system is not dependent. It's not dependent. It's now dependent. It is being intruded by an upper hand. So the judiciary, for its normal function, do not play its normal function again.
You think the judiciary is compromised?
Exactly. the judiciary is compromised, because in a case where there are 20, whatever, maybe shortly, let's say maybe 27 or maybe 28 judges at the judiciary, are we saying that they cannot perform what they are supposed to do, or they cannot do it well? They can. But why? Because we want our people in there, so that when I pass a law, you cannot sit there and tell me that what I've passed, you are not going to accept it, because my people are there, and they are going to speak on my behalf, and they are going to stand for me, which is very bad. And it's supposed not to be so, because personally I'm against that. It's supposed not to be so. The judiciary is supposed to be an independent body, far away from you being even appointed by a political party or whatever it is. When you get there, you are there for the work, not for the political party. But right now, it's not. The case is not like that.
No matter what, it is always going to take a president to appoint a chief justice, or
it's all.
Like, so, do you think our call or our cry of it being politically biased is fair? Because we don't have what it takes to appoint a chief justice.
No, we don't.
It will always take the president, the executive, to appoint.
Yes.
So, I mean, how do you think the judiciary should stand in fairness? Let me put it that way.
Well, in fairness, still back to what I was saying before. The judiciary is supposed to be an independent body. The judiciary, as it stands, is for the people, not for any political party. So in as much as a government comes into power and then he appointed a group of judges into the courts, doesn't mean that they should have an upper hand over your duties, and doesn't mean that they should influence your activities, because anytime a political figure try to intrude into the affairs of the judicial system, then we see a different judicial system altogether. Because you can actually see a case where you feel like, no, this case is supposed to be neutral, this case is supposed to go this way, and then from where you sit, you can actually detect that no, this will be the outcome of the case. And trust me, you'll be shocked at the end of the day to go the other way. Why? Because there is an upper hand from a political party. And so for the judiciary to be independent, to perform their duties void of politics, it has, for me, I always say this, it has to always start from the mindset. You are there for the people,
not for any
MPP appointed me as a judge into the judicial system. Doesn't mean that when they're doing the wrong thing, and as a judge, and I know the rules, the pros and the cons of being a judge, and how to put things at the right places, and because MPP appointed me, or NDC or CPP or PPP appointed me as a judge to the court, and so I'm going to rule in their favor. Was the citizens sitting aside, even with them not having a qualification to be a judge, can actually see that no, this is not how it's supposed to be. And as a judge, because I've been appointed by a political party, me said that it has to go in favor of the political party. But no, it's not supposed to be like that. And you see, when the government also comes into power, it looks as if they have so much pressure on the judiciary. You have to do what I'm supposed to say. If not, either we sack you or we push you into a position where your pay will be something very small or little. And so you want some. And this kind of mentality say my buyer baso me so it was me DB my buyer baso I have to rule in their favor so that I'll be known. And the position be ohana me so manyano yenja isa eyetiti adwene. That kind of mentality na twem.
Sure.
So that we'll focus very well and then ensure that we do the right thing. If not that, and the judiciary says I
compromised. Okay. You are still with us on Ghana Talks Radio. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, where we bring you all the hottest issues and discussions going on around the face of the capital. Moving on to our next topic, you know about the Gold Board, right?
Yes.
The newly established institution in Ghana, who are going to oversee the minerals transaction in the state of the country. And one of the things that they said was that all these small scale mining companies are no more going to sell their minerals outside. They're going to sell it to the gold board.
Yeah.
So the only institution who has the right to sell gold to a foreign entity is the gold board. Ntia yetu gold wa hanyina de yebeton gold ayeto ama gold board. Na gold board na ompeso omoton ma abro chifo a omoton. Nti no that has been established. But there were other big entities. The gold board doesn't have that upper hand on them. You are looking at the Newmonts and other people. They still have their own right to sell wherever they want to sell to. And gold board has reached an agreement with them last week.
Okay.
That these 9 of these big companies with gold board that with their mineral extracts, they are going to sell 20% to the gold board. They have the liberty to sell it outside. But as you see, on gold board, I know atna say, I say, instead of selling it all outside, 20% na yen so yen find share how far. So how do you make of this arrangement?
I don't understand.
You don't understand it, okay.
But how can those big firms? Yeah. It means the gold board do not have upper hands on the big firms, so they've now went into agreements with them to pay 20% to them.
No, gold board doesn't have that stretch on these big companies. But then they've been able to reach an agreement with them.
Okay.
Say, mudi yenim se, enyo se mobeton mudi amayen. But then, se say mudi yebeton 20%. Oh, you go no mama.
But is it a Ghanaian firm or is other people living here and then they are making it in the gold?
Most of the big mining companies are not from Ghana.
But they are mining legally.
Yeah, they are mining legally here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They are mining legally here.
Well, it's not that bad though.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. But
it's actually a great thing. It's great. Okay, so it's not that bad. I say
it's not that bad. It's good.
It's great.
It's good.
It's greater than good.
It's good
because your gold coffers stabilize the economy.
Oh yeah.
And you know, so if they are, because the more gold the gold board gets to sell to foreign entities, the more the country gets money to sustain the economy. And I share small scale miners here. We will get much from them, but not that much.
Not that much, yeah.
This year, no almost okay. Yes, 20% of year. I think it goes a long way.
It's good. It's good, yeah.
Yeah, so
and it's going to help, as you said, in our economy as well. Because one of, should I say, the natural resources we generate more revenue. Yeah. It has to do with gold as well. It is. Gold, aside cocoa, gold also counts.
Gold is first.
Okay, so let's make gold first. As you said, gold was trade, so we also get something. So if they are giving us 20%, then it's a good one. It's a good one, and I just hope that as we do this, it will help stabilize the economy.
I mean, as well. So far, the dollar. How do you see the dollar?
I bet
13 cedis.
First, it was how much?
Dollar. My dollar say could do 25 cedis.
With the previous government.
Dollar could do. They do 17 cedis.
17 cedis.
As time I handy over dollar. 15 cedis.
And now it's 13 cedis.
Okay, now it's 16.20. And as I say, I be do
13.
So you think in this 4 months we cry back as 3 months?
Yeah, they are doing well. Me person me more basu too much because when say obi are they now born a basu too much. like when someone is actually doing something good and then you try to encourage the person or you say things, when it gets too much, it looks like the person is.
But, I mean, encouraging
but in a
them,
way, yes, it's
praising
good.
them rather encouraging them.
It's
to
good.
Do more.
This current government is actually doing well, even though they haven't extended their years. They still have about, after this year passes, they have like 3 years to go, and in a pace of 4 months, look at what they are doing. CD to $1 is 13 CDs, which means that when they should do more, we can actually have maybe CD to $1 coming to 10 CDs or 9 CDs. We have a greater chance or possibilities of our CD to $1 coming like 9 CDs or 10 CDs. So they are really doing well. They are really doing well.
Okay. So even with this, the gold board hasn't officially started their transactions yet.
So just imagine.
So young fans, from by the end of December, where gold board has set in, looking at all their projections, Emeka Humpoye to me edited.
13.
How much do you project?
Oh, I won't be shocked if CD to $1 goes back to maybe 5 CDs or 7 CDs or maybe 8 CDs. Yes.
More clients, you know.
Oh, 7 CDs and not 8 CDs. Yeah, it won't be bad. But this is a case where gold board is trying every possible means to ensure that even the small scale miners now and even with the illegal miners that smuggle go illegally out of the country will now sell their gold directly to them. So indirectly you are selling the gold to the government. So anyone who wants to buy, you come directly to buy from the government. And so when you buy, the country now gains more than smuggling it out of the country. And it's like I've listened to Sami Jemfi saying that if they seize you smuggling it out, you will be arrested and you'll be made to face the law. And that is a good one. Because the smuggling of this gold out is actually causing a negative impact on the economy of this country. So selling it to the government directly, and then the government selling, because the government selling it out, and also turn the cake says and all turn they've put things in order, and then I'm sure that when they sell it out directly to their customers over outside the country and other countries, the country is going to gain more, which is a very good start. So I wouldn't be surprised maybe by the time the term of this current government ends, CD to $1 will be somewhere maybe 5 CDs or 7 CDs or 8 CDs. It wouldn't be bad at all. It wouldn't be bad, but trust me, they are doing well. They are doing massively well. Massively.
Client for next year will be
and they should ensure that those illegal miners too and the small scale miners, they should tighten up and ensure that they don't smuggle it out, because we have some people, they've already made up their mind whether we are selling it directly to gold board or whether they are not selling it directly to gold board, or they are going to smuggle it out. So they should also make it a bit attractive, that when you are selling it to the government, you make it in a way, say those small scale miners that are selling their gold to the government will get a top up or maybe a profit or something that will make it so lucrative to keep selling their gold to the government. Because I'm not sure they're just going to give it to the government just like that, but they are going to take something and then the government will now sell it out. So the government should ensure that the amount they'll give to them to take the gold, it's a bit appealing. If it is not appealing, then they feel like when they smuggle it out, they get more than when they sell it directly to the government. Then all this formation of the gold bar will be a waste. But then when they make it in a way that is appealing to the people, so at the end of the day, when I sell it to the government, I even get more than me smuggling it out of the country. Then I'll continue to do that and I'll gain more. And as I gain more, the country is also gaining. And then on we go. And then the economy is, stabilized and then gets to where we all want to be.
But before we move on to the last topic for the day, without any political lenses, we are journalists, so we can't contribute our thoughts through political lenses. We need to be fair and hey, wow. On the Press Freedom Day, did you hear what the president said?
No, unfortunately.
Well, he said that he's empowering the journalists to be the mouthpiece of the masses. So we need to loud issues for the masses. We don't need to relax our wheels when it comes to advocating for the goodness of our motherland. So kudos to all journalists listening to me. Keep on doing the good works. Don't be intimidated by anyone. And don't be bought by anybody too.
Exactly. Yes.
So
mention that please.
Yeah, don't be bought. Look, integrity it matters. Integrity matters.
Very
all that you do. Someday that is what people are going to remember you for.
Exactly.
Not what you have, but how you are as a person, as a human being. Papa we. No, you're kind.
It's true. Even in biography, you see people saying things. And that's a good. And I like the fact that he said he will listen.
Has he been a listening president?
Oh, so far yes.
Okay.
Because was it Labour Commission coming out to speak against I think Gala? Aside the Gala, they also spoke to the government to increase their wages, their monthly income. And then I saw the president coming in to reply them that they are working towards that, and then they should keep calm and cool. They'll get back to them soon. So you see, that's what a listening president is supposed to do. See, even if you don't have the means to provide for them, it's like you telling the person, say, listen, this is the true fact on ground. I don't have it, but let's keep going. I'll come back. It's just like you and your dad. Calling your dad for money, your dad will be like, oh, I don't have the money. But you listen, maybe at the end of the week, I'll get you something. Okay. That is it. But when you call and then they don't even mind you feel like also did that. So he has been a listening government. He's not the one who said we should be citizens and not spectators. And we were citizens. Then we got, being arrested at the end of the day.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
When was that?
Previous government, Omar, stop that.
No,
you want to push me to the wall.
I'm not pushing you anywhere.
You want to push me to the wall.
There are people who, do you know the most interesting thing? There are people who haven't really had interest in national issues or social discussions until after the 2024 election. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah. I know someone now. Like Nimkrasa last year demonstration.
Hey.
But after election, Ansana
just say
building interest in politics and all
so that. We have people that don't even care what is going on in the country.
Oh, you don't know. Go to the markets.
Oh yeah.
You're a reporter. You always.
Oh yes, true.
You can ask them something and they'll be like,
you see, with this judicial system case, I was saying, I want to know. So you just have to get someone. Yes, to someone. Sometimes you go out and they want you to explain what you are asking them, and then when they feel like I say, wait there. So you have to get someone who is intellectual, so the person will help us.
Yeah, but it's a good thing.
Yes,
I like how there's been an uproar of interest, especially in the youth.
Yes.
When it comes to social discussions.
They are trying. I just hope it continues. Yeah. Any government that comes in power starts on good notes, and then at the end of the day, they end with a different chapter. But we are hoping for the best.
The whole thing is that right now, first, now I'm need interest in politics and some sort.
Oh yeah.
But youth in any woman. Once you mess up, they are holding your neck.
Yes. So it means that the youth of the country are beginning to wake up.
Yeah.
And are beginning to think beyond what they used to.
Yeah.
Especially looking at what is going on in other African countries. Let's take Ibrahim Traore for instance. He's putting this kind of fire in the youth. Yeah. See, we can all get there. So the youth, they are coming up. And so when you do the wrong thing right now, the first people to point out your mistakes is the youth. Yeah, and we are the future of the country too.
Social media has been a positive tool.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we get all the informations on hand. I didn't see you are preview to what is happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then you can actually take your phone with 3 CD, 580 bundle, and then you go online, you share your view, and then you post it, and that's it.
But talking about bundles, it's getting too expensive now.
It's true. So, Digital and Communication Minister Samnate George, onye bibi mfa homaye.
Okay, let's look at our last topic for the day. Do you know this man called Dr. Nyahota Maklo?
Yes.
What do you know him for?
Hey, goodness. Well, I don't really know something specific for him, but what I know is that when there is maybe chaos in a MPP political party and then they need someone to speak details about the ongoing of the party, someone who can relate what is going on to the 1990s, to the 1960s, you see them going to him for advice or maybe for clarification and more detail about what is going on in the party. So that is what I know him for.
Now, have you ever asked yourself why anytime all these things you mentioned in the NPP party, he's almost the first person they call on to? Have you asked yourself why?
Well, I've not, but I think sometime ago I sat down to think about it, and I feel like maybe he's the best person, and I also feel like he has been in the party, he has known the pros and the cons of the party. This is someone who has been in the party, and because I saw a place where he said he was arrested because he tried to overthrow a government or something like that, and he got arrested. So you could see that you can't 19 he is still surviving in the party. So I feel like he's a living legend in the New Patriotic Party, and when something is popping up, they have to go to him for counseling and, as I say, clarification on matters. So I would say maybe he's the grandfather. He's the grandfather of the New Patriotic Party, and he has been playing key roles and important roles in the New Patriotic Party, because even with journalists, when you want clarification on certain topics or upcomings in the New Patriotic Party where there are hitches that has to do with you going like into the in-totals to bring out, I mean yes, really, to bring out information, they go to him. I've been seeing them going to him for more detailed information. Why the word I use? Was it the wrong word?
Oh no, I mean, we can,
producer.
We can consider it. We can consider it. But then, I mean, the rights address you used for him is like a grandfather of the party. Now he's actually known to be a founding member of the NPP.
Yeah.
When you speak of people who birthed out the NPP, he is one of them. You know, the NPP has gone through so many, the Northern People's Party, the United Party, the this party, until say Jinai at NPP. Then he's part of the people who brought the NPP to birth. That is why they and last week, you know, after they lost power, there's been so many discussions as to why they lost power. People are speaking to that effect. They did this, that's why they did. And one of the most vocal voice has been Dr. Nyahota Maklo, who thinks that the party has declined for quite some time. Things haven't been handled appropriately in the party and all that. So he has been a critic of his own party. It's his party. And he's been criticizing them on some of their flaws and shortcomings, things that he thinks they could have done right and all. Speaking on a platform last week, you know Nanabi?
Yeah.
How long have Nanabi been in the NPP?
Maybe before me, I don't really follow them like that. So, but I've been hearing of him like in a party. So for me, I would say maybe for some time, but not to compare to this man.
Okay. And so he took to offense. Let me put it that way. How the man has been speaking on the NPP and and he actually went on to say that Nyahota Maklo is not even a founding member of the NPP.
I wanted to say something, but it's okay.
No. Say
the word I want to use is no good.
It might help the conversation.
It's no good.
Oh, okay.
It's no good.
If you yourself has realized it's not going to be a good, then
I don't have money to.
But I mean, do you think that people calling the NPP an arrogant party now is in the right call?
Oh yes.
Because this is a man who everyone knows his stance in the party.
Yeah.
The sacrifices they have made to bring this party to birth. For you today to become a part of that party and even hold a position in the party. And if he is calling out the flaws of the party and you lash back at him, disregarding his position in the party, what does it speak for the future of this party?
You know, the New Patriotic Party, if they don't put certain things into consideration, the party is already in a mess. And in few years to come, I see the party crashing, and I see people coming out of that same party forming their own political party. Because as it stands now, there is disunity in a political party.
Why do you think so?
Oh, there is disunity. Even with this recent thank you tour, you can actually testify to the fact that there is disunity in the party.
What has happened
Madam Omare. You want me to tell you?
I mean, I want to know.
All right, so Baumia's thank you tour involved all parties. You know, before they appointed a flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party, there were teams upon teams in the NPP party. We have the Kennedy campaign team. We have the Baumia's campaign team, and other people who also wanted to be political, who wanted to be a flag bearer for the New Patriotic, still in the same party. And even before they appointed flag bearer for the party, we all know what went on. Clashes between this team, let's say, for example, Kennedy Japo's team against Baumia's team, with a whole lot of incidents. Even with them pointing Baumia as their flag bearer, it's also brought a whole lot. Then after that, the thank you tour that they went peacefully, there was a misunderstanding between Abronye and Kennedy Japan. And even with that, a team member of Kennedy Japan was stabbed. And it was alleged that one person from Baumia's team actually stabbed Kennedy Japan's team. So Kennedy has to withdraw from the thank you tour. And this symbolizes that there is disunity in the party. And see, a party where there is disunity, you are just more dada more because it wouldn't get anywhere. And it also means that there's not going to be a decision where you are all going to accept or just agreed on it. Because I'm coming with my own point of view, you're also coming with yours, and you're also coming with, and you see, personally, from where I see it, I feel like there are people in the party who are actually causing disunity, like mono.
Like, it's their intention.
Yes, intention to just cause this. I don't know. I don't know for them, and it's actually degrading the party.
But let's be honest. We know that the NPP has contributed significantly to this country because they are the second party to be in power.
Oh yeah.
With NDC. And so whatever we see today, since the 1992 revolution.
Yeah, so it has to be 10 around NPP, NDC, NPP, NDC.
Exactly. So we need them as a party.
Oh yeah, we do.
We need them. The country needs the NPP to stand firm. So with whatever is going on now, we can't just politicize it and say, we need them.
Oh yeah,
they've been a
them.
contributing factor to
but
the country.
They have to also solve issues
what do you
within
think?
the party.
What do you think? We have just about 2 minutes to go. But what do you think they need to do now to get themselves back as to the elite party we all used to see them to be?
Yeah. So what I think they should do now is they should get off social media for now. Sit down as a party. I mean, accept the fact that we've lost. We are defeated. Now, what causes our defeat? It's not only about losing the election, but what at all is the main cause of this whole issue coming up? Misunderstanding. What are the misunderstandings? Let's solve it out. We have our own differences, and then we know that no one is a saint. We can actually offend each other, but at the end of the day, we are a team. So after we've offended each other, we brace each other, and then we move on. That's it. So you sit down, you point out the problems that led to that, you solve it out, you forget it, and then you move on as a party. And you see, not everything you have to come on air and be saying it. You've helped this person in the party, and so this person is speaking against you. You are coming to say it, and you are going out. No, this should be done behind camera, not on camera. You do that, you solve it out. Then when you come out, you laugh. To the public, we see you as unity. But when you get back doors, you fight your small fights, and then you move on. So my first advice is they should go off camera for now. Sit down. The party needs to reset itself again. And then make sure that they right or they are wrong. It is when there is unity in the party that they can still thrive. But when they are doing all this, like, whoa, for everybody to see, and still there is no unity in the party, then trust me, what is coming is worse, and it's going to be a big blow to them. So they just have to sit down, make sure that those hitches in the party, they solve it out, and then they allow unity reign. And then to what's the name? Nana B. He has to go and apologize to Mr. Tamaklu.
Are you sure? You think it warrants an apology?
Oh yes, he has to apologize. Why should he say that? You see, this man, I don't really know him, but then I've been listening to his talks and stuff, and you could see that this man, he's intellectual, like he's an intellectual man, and someone who is also a founding member of the party.
Well, Nanabi is challenging that fact. He thinks that the man is not the founding member.
Why will you challenge? What is his main reason for saying that?
Because he thinks the man is not the
founding
member.
No. You see, that is our problem. You see, when we are coming up, and then you feel like you are excelling,
then we tend to look down.
We tend to look down on people who started and they are trying to straighten your path. Because you can't say, me come produce a message if you are reading and then like
now
but I say who's in the on the men who say you are not on the, and even as we are here, sometimes you can call, Deborah, I feel like you can do it this way. You are my elder brother, and I would definitely have to listen to you. So maybe I might disagree, but when I get to I think I'll be like, no, what this guy is saying is true. I have to put it into order and make sure that I work on it. So that is how it's supposed to be. So you talking against the person there, you should go and apologize. But Nana, you know what I'm doing? About parts in the mood have
about parts in the mood have. So our time is up. That's why we will be drawing the curtains on today's show. The team is out there bringing you coverage of the demonstration by the NPP and other political parties in collaboration with other Ghanaian people who think that the president has infringed on the rule of law in his decision to suspend the Chief Justice pending her removal based on the findings of the committee set to probe into the petition presented to the president by some persons in Ghana here. So yeah, stay tuned. All these rising news will be established very soon over the news, which will be presented by Deborah at midday. DJ Rock will join you very soon on the airwaves to bring you some soothing music. Best regards to my producer this morning, DJ Q, who has held us down. Best regards to Deborah, who has joined the panel today. Unfortunately, our regular panelist had an emergency, so he couldn't appear on the show, but best believe from tomorrow we will serve you right what you deserve on the show. Thank you for making time with us. Enjoy the rest of your day.